Okay. So up to yesterday's class, we discussed up to set data structure. So today we are going to discuss about dictionary data structure. So what is dictionary? What is the difference between dictionary data structure and other data structures? So here the major difference is we can store our objects in a key value pair if you are using a dictionary data structure. Key value pairs. So we can use list, tuple, and set to represent a group of individual objects into a single entity. Single entity in the sense. So 1 second, I'm opening. Here you can observe. This is a list, right? So in this list, how you are entering the data or values, objects, anything that should be in the, see here, single entity. Single entity means individual objects. Okay, 20 name, and if you write a string also here, test, everything should be single, individual. So as coming to the dictionary, it should accept in the form of key value pairs. Key value pairs. Those should the key value pairs like are like this. So for example, see, roll number of a student name, phone number of a person and address, IP address and domain name, something like this. So if you want to represent a group of objects in the form of a key value pair, we can use dictionary. So dictionaries keys are not allowed, but values are allowed as a duplicate. So duplicate keys are not allowed, but values can be allowed, can be duplicate. So keys should be unique always, because employee name, for example, employee ID is a key, employee value is a, employee name is a value for a particular in any organization. So are you allowed the duplicate employee IDs to insert the employee names, in an employee dictionary or employee table in your organization? So each and every employee is having a unique ID, right? Company employee ID. So that should be unique. So that's the same thing here. We can apply duplicate keys are not allowed. Heterogeneous objects are allowed, both key and values. Heterogeneous in the sense string, integer, float, all those can be allowed in the both key and values. Okay, key should not be integer. It's not like that. So it can be accept integers, strings also as a keys. So insertion order is not preserved. If you insert any data in this dictionary, it won't be preserved. Like it cannot insert one by one. It will arrange based on the memory availability. And dictionaries are mutable, so we can modify the dictionary content. Dictionaries are dynamic. Indexing, slicing concepts are not applicable on the dictionaries. Indexing and slicing concept is not applicable on the dictionaries. Okay, so in C++ and Java, dictionaries are all known as a map, and parallel Ruby, they will call it as a hash. So, but in Python, we can call it as a dictionary. How to create a dictionary? The syntax, right? So here, a simple, you can create a dictionary like this by using d equal to print of type of d. You can check in the console. See, class dictionary. This is a dictionary. This is the way you can create a dictionary. R D equal to dict, R D equal to dict is a function, dict of D equal to dict of. This is also another way to create a dictionary. See, the same output, a values D of 111 is a key equal to value, right? Hari, something, some employee. Okay. So D of equal to or else 112 Shiva. D of 113 equal to Suresh, something. Okay. So now you can check print of D. See, previously it's an empty dictionary because there is no values. Now we used assignment like this. So by adding the values, by providing the key and value like this, key and value, key and value. Now the output should be what? So the proper dictionary. The dictionary contains the key. Key is nothing but employee ID. See, you can give keys like this also. Just now you can check. Okay, it can accept both multiple types, data types, right? Integer, heterogeneous, key should be integers and strings, anything. Okay, this is the way you can create a dictionary. Okay, next okay, next example, how to access the data of a dictionary. See, sir, you have created a dictionary. Okay, how to access the data? So it is simple. By providing the keys here, we can access the data using the keys as a input. Print of D of 113. Print of D of 113. And you can observe, Suresh. How we got the data? By using the keys as a input, so that we can get the data from the dictionary. Okay. So if you are trying to provide a wrong key, something like this, so what will happen? It will throw a key error. See, key error. There is no value with associated with this key. That's what it's showing. Okay. So valid keys are required to get the data, right? Otherwise we can add it, enter it. So this is the way we can create a dictionary. And how to update a dictionary. If the dictionary is already there, see these methods what we are discussing, how to access the data and how to update the data from a dictionary. See, so the dictionary is containing what? Key employees, like employee ID and name, like that. So I want to update it. Okay. Print of D of 113. Okay. Print of 3 of 113. D of 113 equal to, instead of Suresh, Harish. So I have updated it. So now I'm trying to print it. Print of D. Can check. Finally, 113 got the value got changed to Suresh to Harish. How it got changed? Because of by updating the values, using the assigning that value to the key. See here, this is the key. I have updated the value. So initially it was the value, updated value is this. Now we are updating it. So initial value is this, and we have updated to Harish. So how it will be updated? This is the reason the Python is a flexible programming language. It can be considered very easily. So and next thing is I want to delete the key. I want to delete the one pair of key or value. Okay, D of 114. Okay, here I'm giving another name. Okay, some name. Okay, so now we can observe it. See, it's got 4. Okay, and 113 got we updated, right? Suresh to Harish, it was updated. So now I want to delete elements from a dictionary. How we can delete the elements? We cannot delete the element directly. We can delete the element by using key. Okay, del key of 114. Tell D of 114. Now I'm trying to print off D. You can observe output. See, 114. Based on this key, this particular value, associated value got deleted. Okay. Now I want to clear it the dictionary. As of now, the empty dictionary we have taken, we are keep on assigning the values, we are doing the multiple operations. So I want to clear the dictionary. D dot clear. That's it. Print of D. It's again empty dictionary. Okay. Initially, this is the empty dictionary. We added the values and we modified the values and we delete the values and finally we clear the entire values from the dictionary. So this is the way we can delete the values, update the values in the dictionary. So now there are some important functions are there in the dictionary. Okay, important functions. Same like as a list, tuple and set. What are those important functions? Okay, length function. We already discussed the length function, right? The same function can apply it here. Length function and clear function, get function. So length in the sense simple. So print of okay d of length of d. Here I will remove this here and delete functions. Otherwise the empty it should be written empty, right? I'm going to so we can see 4 length function is 4. The dictionary, what is the dictionary key and values? 0 1 2 3, right? So 4. Now clear function we already discussed, right? It will be clear it everything. And get function is nothing but this function will help you to get the values based on the key. If the key is available, then return the corresponding values. Otherwise, it will return the default value. We can check now. Get function. Okay. Print of d dot get of 100. Sorry, 111. Okay. Based on by using this get function, we are going to provide the key as a input and it will return what the corresponding value. Hari. 111 means Hari. See, you can observe here in this line number 3. So that we can use this get function. And pop function. The same pop function we discussed in the list tuple also. I mean set also. What is the use of pop function? Pop function, it removes the entry associated with the specified key and returns the corresponding value. Same, right? So now we can apply this pop function here. Pop function, print of d dot pop of 114. Print of d dot pop of 114. Now you can observe print of d. Okay, forget about this remaining because unnecessarily it will get a confusion. So this print statement I'm removing here. Okay, okay, now we can check. See what it returned. It removed 114. 114. Okay, here also we're updating it. Okay. See, Hari Shiva Suresh. Now I am running it again. See, it removed 114 and returned balance dictionary, the balance key and value, the data, whatever is there in the dictionary. Previously it was 4, right? But we are removing by using this pop function. Okay. And next one is keys. Keys. There is a function called keys. So what is the use of this keys function here? Keys function. It returns all keys associated in the dictionary. It returns all the keys. Simple. So print of d dot keys. This is a function. It returns only the keys. Dictionary keys. See 1 2 1 1 1 1 2 something like that. So values. There is a function also there. Values. Print of d dot values. Only values will be printed like this. So another function basically we will use in the use this function in all the programs. So called keys and values. This is called items function. Okay, items function. How it will work? So simple. Items is nothing but it is going to be print key and values. For we are using for loop. For k comma v means key and value in membership operator. V means dictionary, right? Dot items colon print of k comma v. You can observe how it should be printed, the key and value. See. So this is the function that this will helpful for items, means it will print the keys and values, okay, corresponding keys and values in the customized format, whatever we want. And there should be another program, I mean, like functions called copy and update. So copy is nothing but simple. So we can copy the existing dictionary to new dictionary. D1 equal to D dot copy. Print of D1. You can check in the D1 also the same existing dictionary will be copied here. So like this we can use the copy function. Okay. These are all the predefined functions which daily basis in a regular programming in an automation also we can use these functions. Okay. So now we will write one example program. For the time being I'm just copying here. Yeah. Write a program to find a number of occurrences of each vowel present in a given string. This is the interview question actually. So copy this and comment it. I will explain the things line by line. Yes. So here, what is the question here in the program name? So write a program to find a number of occurrences of each vowel present in a given string. Okay. So it will print the output like this: number of occurrences of the vowels, not a normal one. Vowels, normal. It's not a normal alphabet. It's only vowels. So here, I have created a variable called word equal to input of enter any word. So this should be a input like a method from the we can accept the string from the keyboard, the word we can accept from the keyboard. For that we can use input of enter any word. And what are the vowels, right? So we want to check how many vowels which are occurring in the given string. So for that we need a vowels, right? So we know, right? A, E, I, O, U are the vowels. So I am going to create a empty dictionary on the line number 22. After that I'm writing a loop, right? For x in word, x in for each for each letter, for each character in a word should be present first time x. So for example, if I entered Python, see, p will be the x value. Again, once the loop is completed for that character, second value will be what? Second value will be y x value will be the y. That's the reason for each word, for each character in a word. That's the reason for loop is going to work. For each character in means membership operator. Now if x in vowels, if x in vowels, if x, so initially the value in the Python, so let's say this is This is our word called Python. Okay. Initial character is what x value will be p. Now, if P in vowels, it is going to cross check with the vowels. P is there or not using what in operator, membership operator. P is there in the vowels? No. Then d of x equal to d dot get of x comma 0 plus 1. D dot get, just now we gone through the method called get method. So this get method will print the values based on the IDs, right? Keys. So get of x comma 0 plus 1. So if it is a vowel, then add it, otherwise leave it. So now what we are going to try here in this next for loop, for k and v, we are using items method. K and v means key and value in sorted, because AE, means it's in the sorting order, right? So we have to sort that vowels, whatever we added in the D of x. So here the D of x value will be what? Vowel. But P is the vowel. I mean, P is the vowel. No, it's not right. So then the loop will be rotated to next element called y. Y value. If y in vowels, yes, no, then this line cannot be executed. Again, t, x value will be the t. This t value will come to the if condition. If t in vowels, no. H, no. O, yes, O is there. If x in vowels, so if x value will be the O, right? Pyth o, then immediately this line of 25, line number 25 got executed, and d value will be the O, d dot get of, it will be added to this. So now in this loop we are trying to print the key and values, okay, in the form of vowels. So here it is trying to print the key and values based on these items. But what is the key and what is the value? We know, right? So keys means wo. V means how many times we are getting the value. So based on that, we are going to print here. So now we can check. I am going to use the same Python. O occurred one times. Where is occurred? Here. O occurred one times. Where is one here? V. V value is nothing but, P is nothing but here one time. So like that you can use the dictionary predefined functions and including along with loops and conditions to get the output. So now I'm giving some factors. A occurred one time, E occurred four times, I occurred one time, O occurred two times, U occurred four times, like this. So this is also interview questions. They will ask you, please write a take any word and try to print the vowels and how many times it is occurring in the vowels are occurring in the word. Okay, so this is called vowels. Okay, to print the vowels in a string by using dictionary. Okay, up to this we have covered the dictionaries concept. So and the next topic is functions. Okay, so as of now we covered the dictionaries. So all core Python theory, conditional statements, okay, I mean looping statements, for loop, a while loop, if conditions, if else blocks, and as well as string data type, how many ways we can represent a string, what are the what are the predefined functions which are available in the string to modify the string while inputting the data from the UI, and list data structure, tuple data structure, set data structure, dictionary data structure, all these are theory, I mean, the basic programming concepts are completed. Okay, so now we are going to shifting to a new programming methodology called functional programming. So as of now, we covered what scripting programming and procedure oriented programming. See, scripting is this. This is nothing but a scripting programming approach. Line by line, you are executing the logic. You don't need to declare a class like a oops concepts in Java. Nothing. You can write one line, the logic within the one line based on the requirement. If you want to integrate the logic, the same scripting approach logic in the oops concepts also, you can integrate it this line directly. So that is the reason you can write the logic in a customized way using Python programming language. Not like you don't need to follow, create a class, create a main method, write a logic. It's not like that. So it should be mixed and customized way. That's the reason multi-purpose programming language. So that's the reason Python is using multiple places like data science, data analytics, and development, automation, testing, and everywhere. So this is a scripting oriented approach, and this is a procedure oriented approach. Procedures is nothing but loops, conditionals, that we can call it as a procedures. Procedure is nothing but one approach to write a logic in generic way. One approach to write a logic, that is nothing but a procedure. Okay, a procedure oriented approach. So here we have covered up to this procedure oriented approach and scripting oriented approach using Python, and the data structures concepts also completed. Now the next topic is functional programming. Python functions. So what is functions? Simple. So in C and C++ programming, you can observe a functions. Function programming. If you remember even graduation, so C++, they use a concept called functions. So we can write a logic in a function and we can reuse that function wherever we want. Okay. So here a group of statements is repeatedly required, then it is not recommended to write these statements every time separately. The main advantage of function is, see here, if I want to execute this scripting approach, the same scripting approach, whatever I write. So these group of statements are repeatedly required, means I have created a dictionary, I have assigned this value. So this dictionary I am using in multiple places, right? I'm using in multiple places. What I'm going to do, I'm going to copy the dictionary wherever I'm going to use it. There I can write these 4 lines of logic. But coming to functional programming approach, you don't need to write these 4 lines of dictionary declaration in every program. You can write it one Python file like this and you can use it, or you can write in one function. All these 4 lines of code you can write in one function and you can reuse the function wherever you want. That is called functional programming. So reusability, here we have to define these statements in a single unit, and we can call that unit any number of times based on our requirement without rewriting the logic. That unit is called a function. The main advantage of the function is called code reusability. You can observe in the oops concepts also, they will tell you code reusability is the main thing. To you don't need to write the repeated code multiple times, so you can reuse the existing code. So in Python, in along with the optional object oriented programming languages, in functional programming also we can achieving this approach called code reusability. In other languages, functions are known as methods, procedures, subroutines, etc. Methods, we discussed in Java also, there is a concept called methods, right? What we can call it as methods, public method, private method, some kind of methods, right? In the class we can declare a method, but in Python we can declare methods. We can call these functions in a object oriented programming called, we can call as a methods only. But this is not a oops oriented programming approach. This is a non-oops programming approach. Here we can call it as a functions. If you are writing a Python program using object-oriented approach by declaring a class or object and everything, then you can call it as a methods. Okay, that's the reason in other languages they can call it as a methods procedures, because there is no functional oriented programming approach in Java and .NET other programming. Everything should be object oriented. That is the reason they can call it as a methods. But in Python, it's flexible, multiple. This functional oriented programming language will be useful in the data structure. Data science and other areas called data science, data analytics portions. You don't need to you don't need to declare a class, you don't need to write a object oriented logic. You can use this function oriented approach to fulfill your requirement. But in Java, if you are trying to write a logic in a single line of logic, you have to declare a class and you have to create an object and create a main method, right? So but here it's not. That's the reason it's a flexible. So in other languages we can call this functions. Python supports two types of functions here. One is a built-in function, other one is user defined function. Okay, what is the built-in functions? So simple id we discussed, type, input, we are using all these eval functions, right? These are all built-in functions. You can check here. Yeah, this is a built-in function, right? Type of, I'll do one thing, remove this, print of d, what it will print. Okay, dictionary. I want to know what type of dictionary it is. I mean, it's a kind of dictionary or a class or a list. I want to know the data structure of this d, right? I can use a function called type of d. What it will going to be print? Class dictionary. This is a class and dictionary. But here I have not declared any class. There is no class declaration here. You can observe in the another. I will show you the program called class one. This is object oriented programming in Python. See, this is the way you can declare a class. You can achieve the inheritance and everything. But there is no parenthesis, close and open like Java. And there is no semicolons, nothing. Very simple it is. So here I have declared a class. It's an object oriented approach. But in this program, I am not declared any class. But you can observe it is showing class dictionary. What is the thing internally that you have to understand? Python, everything should be an object. It's purely object oriented programming, but people can say Java is object oriented programming, other programming languages purely object oriented programming languages. If you declare a logic without declaring a class in Java, it will throw an compilation error. See, this is not a valid class. I am not able to recognize the commands what you are giving. Please create a class, then I can recognize it is a Java program. But coming to Python, it doesn't require any class declaration. Even though if you declare a class or if you not declare a class, if you write a logic, automatically Python will consider that is a inbuilt object-oriented programming. So internally it uses the object-oriented programming. Everything should be objects, but externally we are writing a functional and scripting approaches. Even though it will be considered, those are all also a objects. Everything should be a equal to 10 is also object in Python. A equal to 10 is an object. Simple. See here, I am declare a variable a equal to 10. Okay, print of a type of a. See, integer class. Integer is a class here in Python. Right? But in Java, we can say it's a data type. Int data type. But explicitly, we are also saying int is a data type. Okay, in the theory level when we are discussing. But internally, Python will be consider everything as an object and classes. That's the reason it's a class. Okay. Now we'll go to the functions theory. So built-in functions. Okay, we discussed, right? Built-in print is also a built-in function, right? Print will also print the content to the output. So what about the user-defined functions? So the functions which are developed by the programmer explicitly according to the business requirements are called as a user-defined functions. These user-defined functions, what is the syntax of creating the user-defined functions? I said initially in the first class, there is a list of keywords which are available in Python. In entire Python programming languages, we are going to use the same predefined keywords, right? kw.list, print of kw.list, it will print the list of keywords, reserved keywords in Python. Only those reserved keywords we will use in multiple say. This is the one of the reserved keyword called def. Def is nothing but a definition. While creating any function without having a object oriented approach, we can call it as a function. If you are writing the program using a object oriented approach, see in this class we can call it as a method. See, this is a method, this is a constructor, this is a method, right? So we can declare the method prototype here def, and here we can create the function prototype called def. Directly, you don't need to write any logic, directly def test. It is expecting colon, then that's it. Function is created. Function prototype, function definition is what? Def. Test is what? My function name. So here, that is the syntax here. See, def function name parameters. Parameters we will discuss slowly. And doc string is nothing but the content, the logic, and return value. Function needs to return some value, right? Otherwise, how can you reuse the function? What I said initially, it's a advantage of the function is what? We have to define these statements in a single unit. The statements means our code, okay, and we can call that unit any number of times based on our requirement without rewriting the logic. The not this unit is nothing but a function, right? So here you can observe. So that code you have written is something called print of test, right? If you want to call this particular function, so we need to call the function by using this function name, but this logic should be executed wherever we called in other places, wherever it required. That is called return value. So while creating a function, we can use two keywords. Okay, okay. First keyword is what? Def. Def is mandatory. This is a function prototype, right? Definition of the function. So return is optional. Sometimes we can return some value, sometimes we cannot return the value. Okay, so this is an option. A simple program you can observe. Write a function to print hello. What? Write a function to print hello. So now I'm going to write this function called wish. Okay, print something. Some text I have printed here. Okay. The function is completed. So now I'm trying to execute it. What will happen? Why it is not showing the print content here? Print is a inbuilt function, right? Right? So the print should be show the output value. What is the output here? Hello, good morning all. So but why the print is not showing? Because we have written the print statement, it is not showing. It is returning empty, nothing. Why? What is the intention of the functions? We need to call the function. Otherwise, the function cannot be used. There is no use of creating the function without calling the function. Right? What I said here, we have to see, we have to define the statements in a single unit and we can call that unit any number of times. Unit is here what? Function, right? We can call that function. So how to call the function? With function name. We can observe. See, if I click on enter, the cursor will coming to the function related logic level only, indented cursor, because it is expecting more logic here. So um, something, right? See, this is the two lines of print statement I have written. If I click on enter, automatically the cursor is moving under this print statements only because it is expecting more logic. So whatever logic you want to write under this function, that should be shown like this. No, I want to come out from this function, just put back. Okay, here you can call the function, which see automatically the user defined function will be appeared here. Okay, in the suggestions. Enter. Okay, I'm calling another time. Enter. Enter. How many times I called? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can execute now. See, 5 times it got printed. Now I'm removing this and calling. Done. So this is the way you can create a function and call the function in Python. Okay. Okay. So parameters. Here what I said, parameters is also there in the syntax. Now we are going to discuss about the parameters. Okay. Parameters are the input to the function. If a function contains parameters, then at the time of calling compulsory, we should provide a values. Otherwise, we will get an error. Here we have created an empty function. There is no parameter. Simply we have provided the print statement, output statement to call the function. To get the information about the function, we are going to print that using print. And we call comma name comma quotes. Done. Okay. Name comma quotes. The same thing. Okay. In this print statement, okay, I'm going to remove this one. Okay. Here you can observe I'm not providing any value here. Which missing one required positional argument name. It is expecting one argument, positional argument. Argument is nothing but parameter here, right? Argument is nothing but parameter. So it is expecting one parameter for this function, but we are not provided. Then immediately it will throw an error. So we have to provide the name of the student, right? You can give any name. So for example, see, I have entered my name, but it's a string. That's the reason it is showing an error. So if you are providing string, put in a quotes. See how my name got substituted here, because this is a input value that is expecting from the function calling. So when I provided my value, my name as a input, and immediately this parameter recognized one input is coming from the function calling time, and I want to substitute that input and place into this print statement, then immediately it was printed. So now something called I change it to test. Okay, this is the way you can provide the parameters here. Okay, so the next approach is return statement. Return statement. So I said like return statement is optional, right? Here you can observe while creating the functions, we can use two keywords. One is def is mandatory, return is optional. In these examples, we are using anything written here in this example, nothing, right? We are just write a function on different ways, like empty function and parameterized function, and I passed I called that particular function by using parameter value and without also. Two approaches we did, but there is no. Is there any return statement? Nothing. Okay, this is the one of the way you can call the functions. That is the another way. The function should return something. So based on the return value, we are going to use in multiple places. So then at the time, what is the way you can write the return statement? So this is the simple. So write a function. Function can take inputs values as a parameter and execute the business logic and return the output to the caller with the return statement. So because so execute the business logic is nothing but here the business logic was nothing but a print statement. This is our logic we have written only here. So once it is completed, it is sending some response. Here you can observe write a function to accept two numbers as a input and return sum. Okay, so now we can observe here. Def addition is my method. A comma B as a parameters provide colon. This is the basic syntax in Python. Methods, functions, class, conditions, loops, at that time only you can provide colon of the end of the thing. So you can observe here, this is a method and this is a class. This is a class. Here only you have to, this is a constructor and this is a constructor. So this is what a method. There only we are going to provide colons and if and just in the previous program dictionary we observed, right? If condition and for loop. There also we are using what? Colon only at the end of the condition. That's it. Otherwise there is no syntax. So colon is mandatory. Don't miss this colon. Otherwise it will throw an compile like error. See, it will throw an error. Syntax error, right? Invalid syntax. So it's mandatory. Next, def add. Okay. Once I have provided the input variables like this, I want to see here what I'm doing, return of x plus y. See here I'm doing a return return of a plus b. This is what I am expecting. Okay. Now if I put an enter, automatically it will come to the starting of the function name. It's not because after returning there is no nothing logic we are going to write here. Before return, if you click multiple times enter also, it is expecting some logic to write in this function. Okay. So after return is ending statement. After return, nothing should be there. Click on enter, it will come here. Now I'm going to take and C equal to output something like A plus B. Okay. And we can use in the print statement like this. We have to call the result. We have to provide like this. So output equal to add of a plus b. What it is expect? Add of a plus b, right? Add means what is the parameters? It is showing, see, popping up. What? A comma b, 10 comma 20. Okay, 10 comma 20. There is no print statement. How can it? You have to use a print of out. A value should be 30. Okay, this is the way you can call the return values in the functions. So next one is multiple returns. Also you can do it. Multiple returns is nothing but so return statements can be multiple, that we will discuss in the next level. So here you can observe a program. Okay, so write a function to check whether the given number is even or not. Okay, I will run this program for the time being. Copy it. Okay. Remove this line numbers. You can observe in the if block, after that 0 there is a colon. See, else block, very simple syntaxes, you can remember it in Python. No need to remember multiple things. All this. See, if block is not aligned properly. Back, click on enter, it will come like this. And this is also expecting where? From the indented place. Okay. And this else is also expected where? From this indented. And this one should like this. Okay, this is the actual logic. This is the function, and what is the function name? Even and odd. Okay, I have used a parameter called a single parameter called number, and now I am doing calculation, right? I want to find the even or odd of a number. What I am going to do? I am going to do the calculation, right? How can do the calculation? By using conditions, right? Because it is in this question level only. I mean method name, and sorry, function name only we discussed, we described even or odd. I want to check whether number is even or not, or not odd. So what is the requirement here? Condition. I am questioning something. So we have to use the conditional statement. Just go through the English statements so you can understand by declaring a logic if you don't have a idea. So because by pronouncing, at the time of pronouncing only we can understood. Okay, if I want to find a even or odd of a number. Even or odd of a number means question mark, right? So which one is? So conditions will come into the picture. So what is the conditional statement here? If num divided by 2 double equal to 0, this is our calculation. If num is nothing but our numbers divided by 2 double equal to 0, double equal to 0. So in this case, what is the output, expected output? Right, 0. If you observe the division, so if it is 0, then the value is divided by 2. If it is 0, then it is a even number. Okay, else if the value is not divided by 2, I mean it's not getting a 0 as an output, I mean then what is the number? It is an odd number. Simple. So here I can call, see what I said, multiple times we can call the function, right? So here I'm using 2 times, right? I'm writing it third time also, 239. Okay, and then even odd. Now we can check. 10 by 2, 5, right? 2 5s are 10 equal to 0. It is a even number. 15 by 2, 2 sevens are 14. 1 will be the output, right? It's not an even. You can check. 10 is an even number, 15 is an odd number, 239 is an odd number, 18 is even number, 24 is even number, something. Okay, this is a way you can call the functions using, okay, different approaches like parameters and all. Okay, so in the next session, we are going to discuss a few more programs and how to return the multiple statements. Return value is single, we have written, right? So we can return multiple return values. How to write a programs, and as well as types of arguments are there. So in functions, we can pass a number of type of arguments. So all those we will discuss. And after this, there is a concept called modules and packages concept. So I'm going to try to complete those modules and packages concepts also. In the next session, core Python is going to be completed. Then, okay, I will share a few more programs on list, I mean, and tuple set and dictionary data structure today. So next week, Monday, maybe I will share remaining programs on functions and all for our practice and assignment purpose. So please practice it and send it to me, or else send in our group, WhatsApp group, what have I created, whatever programs you have practiced, so that others may understand. Okay, so the way of writing the logic, see, you can write the logic not like this. You can write your own in your own. Okay, you can follow multiple approaches. So Python program is flexible programming language. Don't need to declare a class. Don't need to write a logic in a single manner like everyone, like other programming languages. You can write in one logic multiple ways. That's the reason I shared the notes called reverse of a string by using 3 ways. One is you can observe in the WhatsApp group. There I shared some images. So it's related to programs at the time of my learning time. So what has happened? The string, you can reverse of a string in how many ways? Even other programming languages also you can write by using different ways, but mm, that is, you have to think very carefully and write the logic. If you are reversing of a string in Java, you have to use for loop and if conditions, otherwise there is no option. Okay, but in Python you can reverse a string using indexing. You can reverse a string using slicing. You can reverse a string using procedure oriented programming. You can reverse a string using this function also. You can write a logic reverse of a string logic using conditions within a one. You can declare in one function, and this function you can call like this. You can try to practice it multiple ways so that you will get an idea. So we'll, tomorrow we don't have a class, have another class that was the old batch, the last 2 classes was in the balance, so I have to complete them. So we will connect on Monday again the same time, and we'll trying to complete core Python on Monday. Tuesday onwards we will start object oriented programming, advanced Python, oops concepts. So please practice all the core Python concepts up to now. These concepts only we are going to use and substitute in the object oriented concept. See, you can observe here print is using, and this is the function. See, these are all different things. These will come slowly. and the super method, self. What is self? See, this is nothing but add. Why have provided add here? It's a parameter, right? Just now only we discussed. This is a function, but in whoops we can call it as a methods. But you can observe here, you will get an idea. Okay, this person created a function and he passed a parameter. How you can get to know all these things? By knowing the core Python concepts. Okay, functions concepts. Okay, so this we will discuss on Tuesday onwards. Whoops concepts. Okay, practice it. Any doubts I can ask now so that I can close the session.